Though I was originally to give a review of this a couple of years back and failed because I couldn't find it to check out. Well, I'm finally pleased to give you a review of this here film. Though football season might be over with, but hey, it's not so bad that you can see a film about football with a little dramedy feel to it. Prepare yourselves, because here's my review of Varsity Blues. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. This video is dedicated in memory of James Van Der Beek, whom we sadly lost on February 11th, 2026. Rest in peace. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome again to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. I'm the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a review of the 1999 coming-of-age sports dramedy flick, Varsity Blues, released by Paramount, directed by Brian Robbins. Now, of course, this was a pretty good film, what have you, when I first saw it, as the film was originally released on January 15th, 1999. The film stars James Van Der Beek, who, if you were just into this, I am dedicating this video in his memory, along with Jon Voight, Paul Walker, Ron Lester, and Scott Caan. In the film, it focuses on a small town high school football team as they deal with the pressures of adolescence, their football obsessed community, and their authoritarian coach. The film did decent enough, but received mixed reviews from critics, though, with praise for its depiction of small town communities and criticism for its cliches, though. But has gone to become a cult film, inspiring other coming of age films and the code name for a 2019 criminal investigation into U.S. college admissions. Let's get into our story. In the small town of West Canaan, Texas, Jonathan Moxon, or Mox, is an academically gifted backup quarterback for the 3A high school varsity football team, the West Canaan Coyotes. Despite his relative popularity at school, easy friendships with other players, and a relationship with girlfriend Jules Harbor, Mox is dissatisfied with his life, wanting to leave Texas and attend Brown University. He constantly clashes with his football obsessed father, Sam. He dreads playing under legendary coach Bud Kilmer, a verbally abusive and domineering authoritarian who believes in winning at all costs. Kilmer's philosophy finally takes its toll when he pushes the Coyote star quarterback Lance Harbor, Mox's best friend and Jules' older brother, into taking pain-killing shots into an injured knee. This leads to Lance injuring the knee further during a game, partly because Kilmer had forced offensive lineman Billy Bob to continue playing despite a concussion. At the hospital, the doctors, appalled at the massive amount of scar tissue found under his knee, explained that recovery will take at least a year and a half, costing Lance his football scholarship to Florida State. Mox, who has accompanied Lance, is shocked when Kilmer denies his role in Lance's injury. Even though he ordered the trainer to provide the painkillers, needing a new quarterback, Kilmer reluctantly names Mox to replace Lance as team captain and starting quarterback, which brings unexpected dividends for Mox. Wanting to marry someone, leaving West Canaan to escape small town life, Darcy Sears, Lance's cheerleader girlfriend, shows sexual interest in Mox and even attempts to seduce him with a whipped cream bikini. Uh-oh, that triggers a real hot scene. Uh-oh. Yep. Okay, let me get back. Now, of course, this whipped cream bikini is over her otherwise naked body, but he gently rebuffs her, telling her that she can independently escape West Canaan. Disgusted with Kilmer and not strongly leaning to win, Mox starts calling his own plays on the field without Kilmer's approval, and also organizes an all-night drinking party with his close friends on the team at a local strip club the night before a game. Fed up with the pressure from Sam, Mox chides him. Sam had been a football player at West Canaan, and although Kilmer dismissed him for lacking talent and courage, Sam still respected and obeyed him. When Kilmer discovers that Mox has won a full academic scholarship to Brown, he threatens to alter Mox's transcripts to endanger his scholarship unless he falls in line. Kilmer's disregard for the players continues, leading to Billy Bob's dramatic mental collapse. When star running back Wendell Brown, another friend of Mox's, is injured in the district title game, Kilmer persuades him to take a shot of cortisone to deaden the pain in his knee, allowing Wendell to continue at risk of more serious and perhaps even permanent injury. Desperate to be recruited by a good college, Wendell almost consents when Mox intervenes and tells Kilmer he will quit if the procedure continues. Undaunted, Kilmer orders wide receiver Charlie Tweeter, a friend of both Mox and Wendell, to replace Mox, but Tweeter refuses. Mox tells Kilmer that the team will only return to the field without him. Now for the final act and ending. As always, you know the procedure. You got 5 seconds to sub this video at once. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below as I count down now. If you've seen this movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Realizing that he will be forced to forfeit the game, an angered Kilmer physically assaults Mox, but the other players intercede and then refuse to take to the field. Knowing his outburst has cost him his credibility, Kilmer tries unsuccessfully to rally support and spark the team's trust in him, but none of the players follow him out of the locker room. Kilmer retreats alone to his office in defeat, abandoning the team to their fate. Using a 5 receiver offense in the second half, the Coyotes proceed to win the game and the district championship without Kilmer's guidance, owing to Lance calling the plays from the sideline and Billy Bob scoring the game winning touchdown on a hook and ladder play. In a voiceover epilogue, Mox recounts several characters' aftermaths. Kilmer left town and never coached again, but his statue remained due to its weight. After the game, Tweeter drank beer and Billy Bob cried in celebration. Lance became a successful football coach. Wendell received a football scholarship to Grambling State University, and Mox went on to attend Brown on an academic scholarship. End of story. Yep, for realsies. So, what did I think of Varsity Blues? I've seen this a few times, and well, I gotta say this film is very underrated and what have you. But I've got to admit, I actually like it because of its atmosphere in a small town community. This is so incredible. I actually think it's pretty good and what have you. Upon its release, it did decent enough at the box office, making 54 million worldwide on its $16 million budget. Anyway, the reviews were mixed though, as Rotten Tomatoes has a score of 47, where they say this is a predictable football movie that lacks intensity. Well, that may be just a little, but not much though. Metacritic has a score of 50, and the Audience's Pub by Cinema score gave us a B+. Roger Ebert noted in his Chicago Sun-Times review that scenes work, but they don't pile up and build momentum. James Berardinelli's summary for Real Views was that although it takes a worthwhile detour or two, it ultimately finds its way back to the well-worn track of its genre. Owen Gleiberman of Entertainment Weekly also gave a positive review, remarking that while the film has its shallow gags and cliche characters, it also creates a vivid portrait of a small town community in the grip of an obsession. Well, that's understandable and what have you, but overall, I found it to be pretty good and what have you. Again, I like the setting of this small town this film takes place in. Anyway, the film also went on to nominated for several awards. First, at the Teen Choice Awards, where James Van Der Beek won Choice Movie Breakout Star and was nominated for Choice Drama Movie. Yeah, this was actually the first ever Teen Choice Awards, but unfortunately, it lost to Cruel Intentions at those awards. At the MTV Movie Awards, on the other hand, in 1999, Van Der Beek also won Best Breakout Performance for that, and Best and the song and what got nominated at the awards was actually well, that's hard to explain. Best song from a movie. Please stand by. Yeah, where the song Nice Guys finished last by Green Day, which was included on their Nimrod album, got nominated, but unfortunately it lost to Aerosmith's power ballad I Don't Want to Miss a Thing from Armageddon. And James Van Der Beek got nominated at Best Male Newcomer at the Blockbuster Entertainment Awards. Yes. So, anywho, I can't really find much of the winners for those, unfortunately. But anyway, yeah. The film got a soundtrack with music from and inspired by the motion picture, which of course featured Nice Guys Finish Last, as well as the song My Hero by the Foo Fighters, which was recently featured on their sophomore album, The Color and the Shape. It also features several other songs and what have you, including songs from bands like Black Lab, Days of the New, Collective Soul, Fastball, and Third Eye Blind, and many others, which was released on Hollywood Records. Now, of course, its score was composed by Mark Isom, which was actually pretty good. The film was directed by Brian Robbins, who had recently had directed the cult classic of Good Burger 2 years prior before this. He was also executive soundtrack producer. He later went on to do some other films, including Ready to Rumble, Hardball, and The Perfect Score, which was also produced by MTV Films, who also produced this film, as well as also direct the Shaggy Dog remake with Tim Allen, as well as three movies of Eddie Murphy's that really got dissed and what have you, which were Norbit, Meet Dave, and A Thousand Words. And also, he served as producer on films like Summer Catch, Big Fat Liar, Radio, and Coach Carter and Wild Hogs. Plus lots of others. But anyway, yeah, he does a great job with his direction of the film. I don't mind the characters being cliched. They are very likable, though, in my opinion. James Van Der Beek plays Mox, and I gotta give him credit. He does an exceptionally good job. And this, of course, was right at the time he actually made it by being a star on the WB's hit teen series Dawson's Creek. Now, actually, before his death last month, Van Der Beek had recently appeared in a couple of other football themed films on Tubi, and those were Sidelined, The QB and Me, and uh, and its sequel, which was released last year. Of course, Sideline was released back in 2024. Now, anyway, he does a good job. Jon Voight played Coach Kilmer. He's pretty good. I like his performance. Paul Walker, after he had recently appeared in, I think this was after he recently had done She's All That, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this was after She's All That came out. He also would, and of course, this was before he did the Fast and the Furious franchise, but he's gone now. May he rest in peace. He plays Lance Harbor. He does a great job on that character. Ron Lester played Billy Bob. I gotta say, this guy's a character, really cool. Richard Lineback played Joe Harbor. Yeah, he's pretty good. Scott Caan played Charlie Tweeter. Good. Amy Smart played Julie. I absolutely do think She's really good. Of course, she went on to do films like Road Trip after this. Oh, wait a minute. What's no, wait a minute. I think it was after this, or was it? Yeah, it was after this. She would do Road Trip. Um, Thomas F. Duffy played Sam, Mox's father. He's pretty good. Ollie Lauder. This was one of her first films. She played Darcy. I love her performance, especially in the whipped cream bikini. Never grows old. Anywho, the rest of the cast is pretty good. So I must admit, Varsity Blues is really something. Very underrated film though, but in my opinion, it's not too bad of a film. Would I recommend it? I would say sure, go ahead. Give it a shot. I think you're gonna like this film if you've never seen it. But this is a film you may enjoy. If you really want a pretty good football film from a few years back, then I say give this one a try. Or if you were a big fan of James Van Der Beek, then this is a film you should check out as well. So rest in peace, James Van Der Beek. So what did you think of Varsity Blues? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, and you know the rest. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of another underrated film, and that's an old Disney film a young Kurt Russell was in called The Barefoot Executive. So if you like this, check out my reviews for some of these other football films. In the upper left-hand corner, check out my review of the original version of The Longest Yard with Burt Reynolds from 1974. You can also check out my review of its remake as well on the channel. Or go to the upper right-hand corner and see my review of a football film that actually starred the star of the Longest Yard remake, and Adam Sandler in The Water Boy, which is absolutely really good. Or if you would like something with the late great Paul Walker, go to the bottom left hand corner and see my review of the one that started it all, The Fast and the Furious from 2001. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.